About to be on the road. My son and I. Come get in the picture, Mason. Thumbs up. Headed to Galveston. Yeah, baby. All right, baby. About to head to Galveston. Me and Mason. Hooked up, ready to ride. Let's see what beach has in store for us. Cool, about to hit the seawall from the ferry landing, the Bolivar Peninsula side. Well, we're on the Galveston side now, but we came from Port Bolivar. Going to get something to eat before we go to the San Luis. Well, that dude had a little too much time in the sun. Seawall Boulevard. All right. First stop, Benno's. Get some great seafood. If you come to Galveston, go to Benno's. Don't waste your time with all those other places you may hear about or think this is a place to go like Guido's. You're wasting your money, in my opinion. Ask the locals, they'll tell you. I believe we are already here. Yes, we are. If we can find a spot to park. Good, I can watch my bike. Out. Seawall, Galveston Boulevard. Seawall Boulevard, Galveston, Texas, I should say. 35 miles an hour, right? I'll try. Pleasure Pier coming up to the left. Tillman Fertitta's cool place. Hotel Galvez to the right. Famous Murdoch's at the site of the old Balinese room, right there to the left. Unfortunately lost during Hurricane Ike. Murdoch's was pretty torn up, but they rebuilt it. The gift shop, shell shop, that kind kind of thing. Cruising down the seawall, Galveston, Texas. But watch it. Yeah, figures. Headed to Bolivar Ferry. Takes me across to Port Bolivar. It's not bad. It's about a 20-minute ferry ride. Problem is the line. And the lines on weekends. Friday going over to Bolivar is bad. Sunday coming back from Bolivar is bad. It's never really good, but at those times, it's significantly worse. Had a good weekend. Spent it with my son doing really nothing. Being lazy. Suppose that's as good as anything, and that's what relaxation is supposed to be about, I guess. I'm not looking forward to sitting in a ferry line in full rain gear, which as soon as I take it off, I'll get drenched. Nice shot of the Pleasure Pier. It's a really cool place to take your kids if you're down. Neat rides. I mean, it's, typical overpriced stuff, but, what are you supposed to do on vacation? Come on. All of it's overpriced. Duck tours, that's another thing I've been on. It's a really neat thing. They basically drive you around in this modified military type. Oh, I don't know what it is even. I don't know the name of the vehicle. It's a boat that goes on land and water. It's basically amphibious, but um, it's fairly neat. They drive you around Galveston, show you some historical sites. Then they will drive right down a boat ramp into a lake there, or into a bayou, off its bayou, and muddle you across the bayou in that floating contraption, and everyone seems to enjoy it. So try that if you're in Galveston and looking for those things. If not, just go to the Strand. Enjoy the Strand. It's a wonderful place. It's um, depending upon where you are on the seawall, it's anywhere from a mile to 5 miles, but it they have a lot of restaurants and meat shops. Mainly just if you like to people watch, it's really enjoyable. Go down there and check out all the people doing their thing. Galveston's a wonderful place. I really would have liked to have lived here at one point. Got a lot to offer. No major, no real major industry, obviously, besides tourism, but um, sub-industries. A lot of people choose to live here and work in Houston, uh, work outside Galveston. There are petrochemical plants just outside of Galveston, Texas City area. So, there's opportunity to make a living here, just not as much as a major city like Houston. But if you so love the lifestyle, it's certainly not an undoable commute. I would guess 45 minutes one way. Now that's straight in. That doesn't include traffic. So if you're talking about commuting during rush hour, you may be talking about an hour, hour and 15, hour and 30-minute commute, depending upon where you work in Houston. But all in all, it's a neat place. You get the typical beach bums, the typical. You've got one block that's full of wonderful homes, and you've got another block with same street, just rundown houses. That's my biggest complaint, really. There are certain areas. There's not one nice area per se. I mean, there are. Don't get me wrong. There's maybe one or two, and I'm not familiar with all of them. But it's not like any other city where you drive to a more affluent part of town and a less affluent part of town. It's obvious. The lines are obvious. But here, not so much. You may have a block that's wonderful and a block that's not so wonderful. And the lines are still there. I suppose the locals know them. But all of that seems so fluid and subject to change. That would make me nervous about buying real estate in Galveston. But, hey, to each their own. And I live in a rural area on 30 acres, and I found that some of my best neighbors, they're not so affluent, and that's not a consideration for me, judging a person, but someone may drive through there and think, oh, there's a kind of a rundown house, or not very well maintained, or there's something else that leads them to believe. But in my experience, that those are the first neighbors to come help you do anything. They're the first ones to look after your home while you're not there. I don't have a problem with anyone, to be honest with you, and I don't like the rules of a gated subdivision. I don't like a group of 5 or 7 or 10 or however many people on a homeowners association determining what I can and can't do, especially when I'm not obviously hurting anyone. It's their opinion as to what is damaging or offensive or whatever. And I'm just not. I would rather take my chances of having less desirables move in next to me than live under those situations. Yeah, we're about to turn left on Ferry Road. Pretty cool. I've got a lot of memories down here, mostly being a troublemaker, but got a lot of good memories. If you go straight, you go to the end of the seawall, and that's known really as East Beach, the farthest eastern point of the island. And that's about 2 miles down, dead ends, and the road goes down to the beach. So it's a neat place to visit. About to load the ferry in just a minute. Good. This is a good sign. Many times on a weekend, the ferry line is back to the seawall where I just turned, and most of the time, the ferry line is right here. So you have a long line that you wait in, and do not cut in that line, believe me. someone will report you. You will be cited, and you will have to appear in court. So don't cut in this line. And even you've got to be very careful. Like at this intersection, if you were that car approaching right there and you were to turn in front of me, technically they'll view that as cutting if there's a line in front of me. Right now there's not. However, my wife did receive a ticket for that one time, and there was no line, no obvious line in front of her, but she turned in front of some cars that were in a sequence of lines at a light, and not a good outcome. But that's the way it is. You have the people that work in Galveston and live on the Bolivar side, and they are ruthless. And I don't blame them. They sit in these lines all day. But then you also have the people that get these fake medical passes and cut right in front of everyone when there's no medical situation, and obviously they're just cheating. But here we go. Normally they may stop you here, and you hope you get inspected, especially if it's a long line, because these 4 lanes or 5 lanes or whatever are filled usually. But they have a check if you search your vehicle, and they usually open the hood, open the trunk, just looking for paranoia or anything obvious that's not good. Anyway, I'll go ahead and cut this off. It looks like we missed this vote. It looks like they allowed one more car. So there's one full ferry, but we've only got 4 cars in front of us. So, yeah, that horn signals he's going. So I'll cut back on when we get back on the ferry. There's typically 4 or 5 ferries running. I think there's a total of 6, maybe. I'll count them. I think there's 6. At any rate, I'll cut back in whenever we get up and start the board. These guys all get to go first because they were quote-unquote searched. I don't know if they're going to move us next, but I'm about to find out. Yeah, you go through that search line and you end up on the ferry a lot faster. I don't know how they do it. I always I look suspicious, try to get put over there, but never seem to do it. My wife has. See, there's my daughter waving at us. She got searched, but me, not so lucky. I guess I just don't look evil enough. Actually, what those are, a lot of those aren't necessarily search vehicles. They're medical pass vehicles. And you see them come through there with trailers and boats. And it irks me to no end, and everyone asks me why I don't do it. I guess because I've got my son that I need to model myself for, and I just can't bring myself to do that. Nothing irks me more than a line cutter or a cheater. They're right there with liars and thieves, in my opinion. So, no, I'm not going to work the system to my benefit. It's not going to happen. So that's boarding the ferry. Turn your engine off. No smoking. What else can I give you? 20-minute ride will be on Crystal Beach, Bolivar Peninsula. And we're about to eat at a little secret. Not not as secret as it used to be, but it's still pretty quiet. A restaurant called La Playita. If you come to Bolivar, Port Bolivar, look up La Playita. It is a wonderful restaurant. It has as good as seafood as you'll get anywhere. Um, Even though it's just a Mexican restaurant, just the guy's been doing it and he does it right. So we're gonna eat lunch there. Continue on. What the hell was going on with that? Odd. Died on me a couple of times. May not have had my kickstand up all the way. Anyway, got past that. Started in neutral, put it in gear, and it dies. Started in neutral, put it in gear, and it dies. So I have a feeling I pulled my kickstand up, but I didn't get it up high enough. I'm going to have to look at that and see. Seems like that's the second time that's happened to me. Anyway, I'll figure it out. So here we are, Bolivar Peninsula, the far west side of it. It goes for roughly 20 some odd miles. Can't remember the exact number, but if I can turn here without killing myself. This is Bolivar proper. Get off the ferry, and it's really the first little community you come to. It's off the main Highway 87 there, a mile. And it's a small fishing community is how it's really always been. Uh, Boat workers, fishermen, guides, the seafood processing facility here. So, anyway, swinging here for lunch.